Okay, so when you hear amino acids, your brain probably jumps to one thing, right? Protein. I mean, they're the famous building blocks of life. But what if I told you that's just scratching the surface? It turns out amino acids have this whole secret life, playing these absolutely crucial roles in our energy, our mood, even our thoughts. So let's pull back the curtain and uncover some of their most surprising jobs.
Here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with this incredible energy shuttle called creatine. Then we'll meet some seriously mysterious multitaskers known as polyamines. And finally, we'll see how amino acids completely transform into the master communicators of the body. We're talking hormones and neurotransmitters. It's going to be quite a ride.
All right, let's start with the basics, the thing we all learned in biology class. From our muscles to the enzymes running our cells, proteins do pretty much all the heavy lifting. And every single one of them is built from chains of amino acids. That's lesson number one.
But is that it? Is that where their story ends? Oh, not even close. It turns out these simple little molecules are also the raw material for some of the most powerful and specialized compounds in your entire body. So, our first secret role takes us right into the world of high-speed energy. Let's talk about creatine. You might know it as a supplement, but it's really the body's ultimate power reserve for when you need a burst of strength, like right now.
So how do we get it? Well, our body actually has this neat little two-step assembly line. It all kicks off in the kidney, where two amino acids, arginine and glycine, get snapped together. That creates an intermediate molecule, which then travels over to the liver. In the liver, it gets one final piece tacked on, a methyl group, to become the finished product, creatine.
And this is where the body's logistics are just incredible. Once it's made in the liver, creatine gets shipped out through the bloodstream to the places with the highest energy bills, your muscles, your heart, and yes, your brain. These critical organs can't make it themselves. They are completely dependent on this supply chain from the liver. And just to give you a sense of how important this stuff is, get this. Your muscles store 5 times more energy in the form of creatine phosphate than they do in ATP, which is supposed to be the body's main energy currency. 5 times! That's a massive, immediately available reservoir of power just sitting there, waiting.
So here's how it all works. Think of ATP as the cash in your wallet that you use for everyday stuff. Creatine phosphate, that's your emergency savings account. The second you need a burst of energy, it instantly transfers its high-energy phosphate group to make more ATP. It's this brilliant energy shuttle system. And this exact function is why creatine is one of the most popular and effective supplements for boosting athletic performance.
And this isn't just trivia. It has real-world clinical importance. See, when creatine breaks down, it forms a waste product called creatinine. Because our bodies produce this stuff at a super steady rate, doctors can measure how fast your kidneys are clearing it from your blood. And that measurement is actually one of the best ways they have to figure out how well your kidneys are working.
Okay, so from a pretty well understood energy molecule, we're going to pivot to something, well, a lot more mysterious. Let's talk about polyamines. These molecules have some of the absolute strangest names in all of biology, and they act like tiny, positively charged organizers inside our cells.
No, you are reading that right. You literally can't make this stuff up. The names come directly from where they were first discovered. Putrescine, from rotting meat, cadaverine, from, cadavers, and spermine and spermidine from semen. But here's the crazy part. Despite their, let's say, morbid names, these molecules, which are derived from amino acids like arginine, are vital in every single one of our cells.
Which, of course, brings up the really obvious question, what on earth are these things doing in our bodies? You know, their exact jobs are still being figured out by scientists, but we have a very, very strong clue.
The secret, it seems, is all in their charge. Polyamines are super positive, which makes them act like molecular magnets. They can bind really tightly to negatively charged things like our DNA and RNA. You can almost think of them as molecular paperweights, helping to stabilize these incredibly important structures, and also regulate things like cell growth. In fact, their role in cell survival is why there's such a hot topic in research on aging and disease right now.
All right, for our final section, we're moving from physical structures and energy to pure information. This is where amino acids go through their most dramatic transformations, becoming the very signals that control our actions, our focus, and even our feelings. This is wild stuff. Just look at this incredible pathway. It all starts with one single amino acid, tyrosine. Through a series of super precise steps, it gets converted into L-dopa, and then into the famous neurotransmitter dopamine. But it doesn't stop there.
From dopamine, it can become norepinephrine and finally epinephrine, which you probably know as adrenaline. It's a whole cascade of creation, all from one starting block.
And each one of these molecules has a totally distinct and powerful job. Dopamine is absolutely essential for coordinating smooth movement and for driving our sense of motivation and reward. Norepinephrine helps control our internal organs and sharpens our attention. And epinephrine, well, that's the one that orchestrates the famous fight or flight response, getting your body ready for intense action.
And if you want to see just how much this matters, look no further than Parkinson's disease. In this condition, the specific brain cells that are responsible for making dopamine die off. The loss of that one single signal, which all started from an amino acid, leads to the devastating loss of motor control that defines the disease. It's a truly tragic and powerful example of their importance.
And it's not just tyrosine. Another amino acid, tryptophan, is the starting point for serotonin. In just 2 simple steps, our body transforms the tryptophan you get from your diet into this critical neurotransmitter that helps regulate everything from your mood and sleep to your digestion.
And here's what might be the most amazing part of all. Some amino acids don't even need to be changed. Glutamate is both a building block for protein and it's the brain's main on switch, the primary excitatory signal. And then, in this beautiful little bit of biochemical elegance, the brain can take that exact same glutamate and with one simple tweak turn it into GABA, the brain's main off switch, the signal that calms everything down. Incredible.
So it's pretty clear, right? Amino acids are so much more than just simple building blocks. They're the starting point for our instant energy. They're the organizers of our genetic code, and they are literally the chemical messengers that create our reality. So if these tiny molecules hold so many secrets, it just makes you wonder, what other incredible biology are we overlooking inside ourselves every single day?